Hello and welcome to Ryan's Real Estate Roundtable. We have Sean McNeil with Expect Pro here again this week. He was with us last week on the home inspection side. Today we're going to be talking about new construction, and I'm super excited to talk to you about this because it's something that I feel like the message can't get out there enough about how new construction is great, but it also can have its little twerks you got to work out. So I'll let Sean introduce himself, and then I'll get started.
Hi everyone, I'm Sean with Expect Pro. We're a Central Florida home inspection and residential and commercial inspection company, but we primarily right now probably do more new construction than anything. New construction is huge in our market right now.
Huge.
Florida itself, we're growing in population. We have quite the economic
huge
boom,
deficit
I
of
think.
homes.
Yeah,
inventory is
so low, and
yeah.
I know there's a lot of new construction homes out there being bought.
Many, yeah. These homes, these neighborhoods sell it like that.
Oh, they are, and they're just going up like crazy. And I drive through so much new construction communities, and then a couple months later, maybe I won't be there, and I'll come back again, and like a whole other half of community is already built.
It looks like a different town.
It's unreal out there, and it's a big part of our market in real estate.
It is,
and we have to be proficient in knowing of this, what's coming into our market.
It is,
and new construction is it.
New construction's hot right now.
It really is. I'm seeing a lot of people just transition to new construction. Because they're just, I think a lot of people are just tearing away from, I don't want to flip and remodel an older home anymore. I want efficient, I want new, I want double pane windows.
There's a big difference.
I want amenities in my community. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the communities themselves have changed over the years.
Absolutely.
So a newer community has a lot more to offer you than, let's say, an older community. And it depends the person. Some people are still looking for, a golf course community. But a lot of people are now phasing away from golf course communities. It just depends who you are and, again, what market you're in.
Yeah.
But Orlando itself has a huge shortage of listings at this time.
Yes.
And it's kind of, I like to say, it grows out in shells. It's kind of like those things you suck on, and they just like keep getting smaller and smaller in different colors. And it's kind of like that. You look at the middle, it's the older homes, layer. Now we're on the outer layer, and there's tons of new construction, like Winter Garden, Horizons West, beautiful area. Lake Nona,
St. Cloud.
Yeah, St. Cloud.
Even behind Margaritaville and Kissimmee. I was just there in the month. I couldn't believe everything they were building over there. It's
a couple years ago, Orange Groves.
Yeah. And even Point Sienna is building again like crazy.
Yeah, and that's just insane that it's so much new construction.
Volusia, everywhere is just building.
It's just
everybody's going new.
Everywhere there's new construction. There's dirt. If you look on Google Maps, you see a lot of dirt in Orlando. So we're going to kind of dive into, if you do decide that new construction is for you, how to navigate it and how we can help you with that. Because it's important to go into it with the education and knowing, your options, and then also things that can go wrong, because things can go wrong. Just because it's new doesn't mean it's perfect.
Mistakes get made.
Yeah, it's human. Humans are building the house.
Absolutely.
So it's not by
For
machines
now.
yet. This video might be outdated eventually, but while humans are still building your home, we're good. So the first one is, a lot of people don't know, but you can actually use a realtor to help you purchase a new construction home. A lot of people go straight to the builder, and they have reps there, and the reps are great, nothing to knock them, but you wouldn't necessarily hire the person's attorney who's suing you.
Correct.
So you want to have someone on your side, in your corner, because things sometimes do get ugly. It's real estate. You're involving money and negotiations. So a lot of money. And in new construction, typically you have to put a lot more money up front. So you have a lot of skin in that game,
including upgrades and things that you want to make it yours.
Yes, exactly. And if you're paying for those, you also want them to be done right.
Absolutely.
Because, why would you not?
Right, absolutely. But the sales associate, they can be great, and there's really good ones out there, and unfortunately there's some really bad ones too.
Yeah,
but
unfortunately,
they are swamped. There's so many people coming into their sales office every day.
Yes.
And the things that sales office will say they can do for you, make sure they keep you up to date on everything. It's difficult for them if they're even able to do it.
Yeah, because they're building out a community.
Like Ryan, he's going to communicate and know exactly what stage your build is at, what type of materials that you had requested or paid for, to make sure that stuff gets gets done.
Yes.
The sales team at these builders, I don't think that they're really experienced enough to take on that type of responsibility for you. As much as they may say that they can, I just haven't seen it personally.
And especially with the masses. I mean, you're selling out communities. So, you're talking about all these different homes. And new construction has a lot of different factors into it. You pick upgrades, you pick this, you pick that. And that's just the side of what you don't see.
Yeah.
Or what you do see. There's also a side that you don't see.
Yeah.
And that's the house getting built.
Yeah, absolutely.
The house actually has to get built in this meantime. So it's kind of the stuff that we're going to talk about here is, how that you can do your due diligence to make sure you get a quality home. And how it could probably help you on your resale.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Because I know that I would love to buy a house if the seller told me, hey, look, we had all these inspections before the drywall went up. And they looked at the electrical, they looked at the plumbing, everything's good. I know that I bought a quality home and I'm passing it on to you. So that's another kind of little side pocket there.
Especially if it's documented with a home inspection report, there's everything to back it up to show that it was potentially done right.
Exactly. And if you have an experienced agent who knows the new construction process, it can be a phenomenal process for
you. Absolutely, yeah.
It can be a great...
It can also be like labor pains, too. Like you'll laugh, you'll cry, and it normally works out well in the end.
There's also a lot of emotion.
Yeah,
it happens.
Absolutely.
It definitely happens.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to go over some pros. So new home construction, you have less maintenance. Everything's brand new. Yeah. So, you don't have to worry about roofs usually for 20 plus years on average.
You already have higher life expectancies than older homes.
The homes last longer because they're built with, we know a few more things than we used to in new construction. And also, you get what you want. There's also a value there. Because a lot of the times, if you're going and shopping with homes that are used, you might think, I would have done this differently. Yeah. I would have done that. You hear that a lot.
Yeah, you do.
And it's okay, the homes have character, but if you want, for your specific need, if you want new construction, you want to have control over all that, that's, I think, phenomenal. Yep. I think it's a great situation. So we're going to kind of dive into how you're going to be protected using me as your agent and having Sean in your back pocket as your inspector, because I am a golden ticket, but Sean is like the crown here. In this one, he takes the cake. Yeah. Does your neck hurt?
Some days.
That's funny. So typically, when you do a new construction, it takes about 6 month build out from slab, correct?
Yep.
6 to 8 months. It depends. Sometimes if they're low on supplies in the market, it might change. But you're looking at about 6 months. And then how far in that 6 months would you say you have to do your first inspection? And we're going to dive into this. There's 2 inspections that have to be done.
Well, there could be more, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
2 main.
Yeah, 2 main ones, really 3 main ones together. But there could be more depending if you have a pool, or any other custom features. Some clients want us to document, and this is where a report comes in, to document the full building process, which you're not going to get with a builder. They give you a blueprint, and then you can stop by and see when it starts erecting. But it's not enough. If you want it to be thorough, to show every pipe, every block that gets done in that home, that's where our report can help, because we give video and we give photos and a whole report to show the process of it. So sometimes we'll actually inspect the piping going into the ground before the slab gets prepped. Oh,
there is that. Yes, I forgot about that.
And then we also can inspect the slab as well to make sure that it's prepped right before it gets poured. And then after that is pretty much the pre-drywall stage.
Pre-drywall,
and I actually here's a new nugget.
We like nuggets, okay.
So after the pre-drywall stage, because of a particular community that has had an issue recently, we're also going to be doing post-drywall pre-tile for the bathrooms.
Oh, okay.
Because unfortunately, I just had a community where most of the tile did not get, the drywall for the tile, and the process of sealing it did not get done properly, and moisture got behind it, and this builder has to rip out tile in a lot of communities, actually.
In a lot of communities, multiple homes. And these homes are already built. People are living in these homes.
We're talking high-dollar homes. And
we're talking expensive homes.
So
just you're never safe.
Process now, and it's going to be pre-drywall, then it's going to be post-drywall before tile.
Yes.
Because we want to make sure that installation is done properly before the tile gets installed.
Yep.
And then at that point, you're going to do a final walk. And then 11 months later, we're going to do your 11th month as well, because when you want to catch everything before that warranty runs out, you could have a faulty appliance or anything. Recalls happen
Yeah, and that
components
could not even be the
appliances.
builder.
Yep,
It could totally
exactly.
be like Carrier or the AC or whatever roofing
Yep.
shingle.
Could be anything, you know.
Yeah.
There's so many different issues with new components that builders are using, especially with HVAC systems. For one, like a fresh air intake. Most of you probably don't know what that is, but you should probably look it up and Google it because it's something that's being used here in Florida that, in my personal opinion, doesn't belong in this far south.
Oh,
but,
with our climate?
Yeah, but it's something that actually creates a lot of problems with HVAC systems.
Really?
So, yeah. So, learning how to manipulate all those is important for me to come in and show you and to report
these are
on
the
it
things
and
is,
document it.
every time I speak to Sean, I learn something new because every house is different.
Yeah.
Houses are like people. It's not you're going to look at the same house next door to each other, but they're going to have different problems.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, all the builders, and it's always said they don't build it like they used to, and I assure you that is not the case.
It's not true.
For some things, yes, but Florida building code has one of the strongest and stringent building codes of anywhere in the United States. So California may be a little ahead of us in some areas, but I mean we have storms and hurricanes
A lot of
here,
natural
so
disasters
we have to
here.
make sure that we have proper wind resistance with the structure and how the roof to wall attachment's done, how the shingles are installed. I mean,
Stucco, that's a big one.
yeah, and stucco too. I mean, stucco actually should be done a certain way for our particular region, and it usually never is because it's founded
a big problem in our
on
market.
something that they did in Arizona. But
Yeah.
we're way different
When
than
they're in
Arizona.
a desert climate and we're in a tropical, humid climate.
Stucco and even in regular home inspections, how many times have you seen it? Heard about a stucco crack in a home?
Always something.
Always.
Yeah.
90% of my reports I have to report on a stucco crack on a new home or existing home, even a new construction home. So
You would be comforted. I
But-
think about you all the time because when I drive past houses and they have those wet spots on them, the house isn't actually wet.
Yeah.
That's the stucco. There's moisture behind it, and I'm like, Sean would have caught that.
Sometimes they blister and they fail, and it's an epidemic. I mean,
Yeah.
stucco just doesn't know. Most guys don't know how to install it properly.
Yeah.
And that's why it's important too. If for the pre-drywall stage, if you have stucco going on a wood frame area, it's so important for me to come look at that and inspect it and make sure it's properly done. Some builders do have a third-party inspector for those, but sometimes even they miss a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not something that the municipalities usually thoroughly check, and that's
Right.
something I want to bring to your attention as well. Is you would think, well, you got the builder, you got the superintendent, you have general contractors, and you have the city or county inspecting the home. But there's so many things like your roof, for example, by insurance and by law. The project manager, superintendent, and the municipality inspector is not likely going to get on your roof to inspect it. It's me and the roofer, and that's it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we find so many roofs that are improperly nailed that would technically make them uninsurable.
I've seen pictures of these roofs,
Yeah,
and they're
I mean,
brand new homes.
brand new. I mean, last year with my reports, about 7 brand new roofs got removed, fully replaced, and from.
I love the
improper
one where the
installation.
shingles just started veering.
Oh yeah, it happens all the time.
I was like,
Yeah.
they didn't even think that was a problem. They just left it like
then
that.
this year, I think we are about to experience our 3rd full replacement on new construction.
Yeah.
So,
And that's a big deal because if you were in, let's say you walked into the builder's office and spoke to the rep, and again, not trash talking them, so a lot of the times they are very busy. They're not going to go through that due diligence with you. Yeah, they're not going to walk it. So someone's got to do it.
Yeah.
And then meanwhile, if you don't do it, then you have what? A $15,000 roof replacement
minimum
to
probably.
worry about.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to deal with that. So just catch it ahead of time. And another big thing with builders is the punch list at the end. So there's a thing it's called a punch list. And you pretty much just do a blue tape walkthrough. You take the little painter's tape, chip off a piece, there's something wrong with a nick in that corner. So you do all of that, and then the builder takes note of everything. But sometimes if you close on the property and then ask them to do it afterwards, it doesn't get done for a year.
Yeah. They'll
So-
send it to warranty, and you don't want that.
So you want an agent to get that taken care of closing day or pre-closing day. I mean, I've had my clients sitting in the closing room while I'm running back and forth, checking on the contractors, and they're fixing tiles. Like they're popping a tile up off the ground because I had a nick or something. I mean,
I've
I
seen
can
it.
name off anything.
I literally saw kids with ice cream cones melting because they thought they were moving in. There's 5 tradesmen inside the house doing tile and paint touch up and
Right, the head contractors, they're like, oh no, they're not going to close. I mean, but you shouldn't.
But this is normalcy to them.
Yeah.
Like this is normalcy to builders and like
they live on chaos last
they'll
minute.
push it to the last minute, and it's sad. I mean, you guys are paying a lot of money for these homes, and they should be pristine and new and problem free.
Yeah.
And that goes back to the stucco again. Like, stucco is a product that's supposed to last for 50 years.
Wow.
With no cracking. There's a
with no cracking?
With no cracking.
I have yet to find a home that
I haven't seen it yet either.
Yeah.
I just had another inspector friend of mine. He just went to the Stucco Institute in Florida. They have a wood frame walls there, a structure. It's been there for 35 years and has never had one settlement crack.
Because it was done properly.
Yeah.
So that's why we call Sean, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, I mean, they really end up in these bad situations.
They do.
I have a personal friend of mine who ended up not using an agent, and he bought a home. It was $700,000 by a very reputable builder. I mean, we're talking a good builder. But sometimes it doesn't matter because they hire other companies. It's not like the name on there is the same name in every community.
Yeah.
So they hire different contractors. This contractor happened to miss flashing on his roof. And he had a 2-story room, and half of the room is probably 3,000 square feet. It was wet drywall. I mean, you just see the gray, and then you see dark gray right next to it.
I feel so
and
sorry for
he
him.
had already moved into a $700,000 home.
Yeah, it's serious. I mean, I've seen there was a news story last year with she was a broker.
Yeah.
And the warranty company came in because she had some issues, and they ripped out her whole subfloor, and it had been like that for over a year because the builder had transitioned to another company they obtained.
Yeah.
And they're trying to figure out whose warranty to put it on.
And who to work with. Yeah, that happens. And it's...
I couldn't believe it.
It's like herding kittens. It's like everyone's going everywhere, and you're like, well, I have a problem here. Come back.
I know.
Because they're trying to in some cases they're trying to get out of doing it, and then other cases they have so many projects that they're running behind on that yours isn't a big deal on their books at that time. That's why you need someone with a loud mouth to get in their ear and say, listen, there's ramifications for your actions. You have to make sure that it's okay.
It's all about communication, and that's what he can provide for you, and I can provide for you. We communicate on the steps and the process, and if anything's out of the ordinary, and there's a lot of smoke that gets blown, and we get to see past that. Like, hey, no, you should probably do it this way.
Exactly.
Because, this is a little abnormal what you're doing here, and it's just about holding them accountable. These builders, they don't have in-house guys. They use subcontractors, and they use subcontractors.
A bunch of different people touch the same thing.
It could be their first week, and people make mistakes, and it's not that these builders aren't great or they don't hire guys that are proficient in managing these projects, but it's tough. Like there's over 2,000 something components that go in these homes, and
you're talking about a house. I mean,
and you're talking dozens of different tradesmen that have to go in there repeatedly at different stages. I mean, it's like it has to be a symphony.
I mean, everything has to line up perfectly. It has to be like the Big Bang.
Yeah, their job's not easy by far, and I commend a lot of them. They're overworked, they're overstressed. Sometimes they have personal lives like anyone else.
Yeah, they're people.
And they work 80-hour weeks sometimes, or sometimes a little less, but they're putting in the work too.
They're stretching.
And they only have so much with the tools that they're given. And sometimes, they're a little short on what they have to make a good product. And even though I may come through in the slab, the pre-drywall, everything may be good, and then on the cosmetic, on the final walk, it just may be chaotic.
Yeah, it just might be the
chaotic
painter.
on the pre-drywall and flawless at the end. So you just never know what you're going to get. But
two exact homes right next door to each other could have two different problems.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes you'll even see the model in rough shape and the house next to it.
I know. It's like, oh, I noticed that.
Yeah. It's not a game out there. I mean, this is your dollars. This is your money, and
At the end of the day, we're talking about a home that eventually you're going to have to sell.
Yeah.
And if it has a problem, guess who's absorbing that problem? You are.
Yeah.
Because the buyer eventually you're now it's no longer a new construction home, it's a resale home. And that buyer's going to look at you. The builder's long gone.
Long gone.
They don't, you're especially if you're out of your warranty, which is another thing that Sean takes care of. They come back and make sure that you can claim all of your warranty items. That's huge. Yeah. I mean, that could be thousands of dollars worth of work.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it happens from roof issues to tile not draining properly in a shower.
Yep.
I mean, you name it. I mean, we've seen it. I mean, any component that you could imagine to fail in your home can happen.
Easily.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's why we, try to hold them accountable and make sure that they're adequately constructing your home the way that it should be, based on, Florida Building Code and what they provide in the blueprints. Which, by the way, blueprints are technically only about 1/10 of how your home actually gets constructed.
Wow.
So like you see this big blueprints, and I read them. You'll see me on site reading through them and going through all the information, which is a lot to go through.
It is a lot.
But there's so much other information that's not in that blueprint. You know what I mean? So because there's a lot of manufacturer installation guidelines that are not all of them are in that blueprint.
And that's, I mean, we're trying to fit this in 15 minutes, and I'm thinking to myself, there's so much.
There's so much.
I can sit here with you for days on video, and we can talk about all kinds of things. But at the end of the day, you need people who are going to look out for your best interest. You need people who are going to fight the good fight.
There's no reason not to hire an agent. Period.
Yeah.
Like, don't let the sales associate tell you, like,
it doesn't affect your purchase price.
too, because we hear that a lot, you know.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, but they're working for the builder. Like, you need someone to represent you and not the builder.
And here's the fun part.
You can work with them, and they pay.
They pay for.
It's free.
It's
free to get an agent.
They have a separate account set aside for commissions. Whether your agent gets paid the commission or their agent gets paid the commission, it's getting paid. So it has nothing to do with your bottom line. There's an allotted amount of money for you to hire your own representation. Why would you not?
Yep. It just makes sense. You know?
Why would you not? I mean, that's just silly to not.
I wish they paid for me too, but that's not the case.
Right? But he's my backup. So if something goes wrong, I could be like, look, I don't know anything about this, but I have the expert.
Absolutely.
So then I can hold up that report and get it all fixed.
We're here to help because it's a big market out there of new construction, and some of it's getting a bad name. You know? And it shouldn't be that way. You know?
shouldn't.
Everybody can work together, and we're not here to bash builders or sales reps. You know, this takes a group effort because they need help too, whether they don't want to admit it.
Yeah.
They need help of inspectors as well to come out there to hold their tradesmen accountable.
Yeah.
So they give you the best product possible.
Because they want them to do a good job.
To me, that just makes perfect sense.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, but they rely too much, I think, just on old antics and the way of doing things, and but times will change. You know what I mean?
It will change, and
I've already seen like a lot of builders that want me to come to their communities now, and a lot of them shaking their boots when they hear I'm coming. Don't get me wrong. And
there's probably a few of them. Yeah, especially.
Someone won't even let project managers deal with me. They'll bring the district guy out, and they won't even let the other guy talk to me.
We're just gonna bring the shot caller because we already know that there's gonna be a problem.
It doesn't have to be like that. This is where let's just make sure that we get it right, do it right, and then you get a beautiful home. You know?
And then at the end,
you can invite us for your barbecues and pool parties, and we're totally cool with that.
We love barbecue. I love cocktails, so I'm totally down. And then we'll be in your perfect home.
That's right.
But yes, thank you, Sean. I think we've covered pretty much about everything.
As much as we can for now.
Without going, we can go real deep again. We could sit here and talk your ear off, but we're trying to keep it under 15 minutes. So, Sean, thank you again, and
I really appreciate it.
Everyone, Expect Pro. They're the best home inspectors. If you're working with me, you're probably working with them. So, thank you.